Hi, boys and girls and families. How is everybody? Miss Linda has a book that I wanted to read with you guys this week. So everybody come over to the computer and we're going to do our group song, our book song. Are you guys ready? Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen. This is how we listen at book time. At book time. So sometimes we'll say book time, sometimes we'll say group time. These are important rules that when your teacher is talking, I might be reading a book, we might be having group where we have a lot of friends in, so it's important that you guys can hear me. So these are our group and book songs that the song that you will hear each time, so that you know that it's time to come over and put on your listening ears and hear the story or hear what's being said in group. So today we're going to do a story, and I bet some of my friends have heard this one before. So if we look at the cover for some clues, we see one, two, three bears. And that's in our title up here in our words. It says Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's told by Bonnie Dobkin. So she's the author right now because she's telling the story. She is writing the words in the book. And it's illustrated by Rajesh Tanwar. Illustrator means that he drew all these beautiful pictures. We wouldn't have any pictures of the bear if he wasn't our illustrator. So let's see what this story is about and see if you guys have heard this before. So it says once, let's see, can you guys see the book good? Once there was a little girl with a bright, happy smile and long, curly, blonde hair. Everyone called her Goldilocks. So locks is another word for hair. She has long hair, long locks, and they called her golden because as you can see, it's kind of blonde. It's kind of a gold color. So her name is Goldilocks. And it says Goldilocks lived in a cottage by the edge of the woods. She was always curious and wondered what was in those woods. May I go for a walk in the forest? She asked her parents one day. Her mother said, No, the woods are way too big. You might lose your way. No, said her father. The woods can be dangerous and you could get hurt. Promise us you won't go into the woods, her parents both said to her. Goldilocks said, I promise. I wonder if she listens. So here's Goldilocks and her mom and her dad. One day, though, the sun was shining and the air felt fresh and cool, and the branches of the trees seemed to be waving at her. Goldilocks thought about her promise. Oh, I probably shouldn't go into those woods, she said. But guess what? She did. Oh, no. So here's the woods where all the trees are, and she's going in. Now, deep in the woods, there was another cottage, and in this cottage lived one, two, three bears, like on our title. Papa Bear, the big bear, he was a great big bear, it says, and he had a great big voice. He liked to fix things around the house, and he loved to cook. Mama Bear was a medium-sized bear, so she was a little bit smaller than Papa Bear. She had a soft, sweet voice, and she liked to work in the garden, and she loved to sing. Baby Bear was a very small bear, so he's the smallest. Big, medium, small. He had a squeaky voice, and he liked to do whatever his parents were doing. So he's following his dad around right now, wants to work with him. One morning, Papa Bear made a big pot of delicious porridge. Can you guys say porridge? Porridge, yeah. And that is another word for kind of like cereal, hot cereal or oatmeal. So he made a big batch of it and he filled 3 bowls to the very top because remember there were 3 of them, Papa, Mama, and Baby. So he made a bowl for each of them. First he filled a great big bowl. Then he filled a medium bowl, and then he filled a very small bowl. And that bowl had pictures of bees on it. The porridge looks wonderful, said Mama Bear. The porridge smells wonderful, said Baby Bear. The porridge is wonderful, Papa Bear said. Now eat up. Yow! Cried Baby Bear. This porridge is too hot. Ooh, it burned his tongue. He's right, said Mama Bear, looking at Papa. Well, then, said Papa Bear, let me think. I know. Why don't we go for a walk while our porridge cools off? Hooray, said Baby Bear, fanning his tongue, because remember, it was hot. He fanned it off. And they set off in the woods together. Just as the three bears, 1, 2, 3, left for their walk, someone came running out of the forest. Do you remember who it was? Yeah, it was Goldilocks. Look, here's her shadow coming out of the woods. Why didn't I listen to my parents, she said. Now I'm lost and I don't know where to go. Oh no. Oh no, she's lost. Just then, she saw the cottage. And remember, she was always curious. She was thinking about things and wanted to learn about things. Curious. She wondered, I wonder who lives there, she thought. She knocked on the door. Hello, she said. Is anybody home? But of course, no one was there. Where were the bears? Yep, they went for a walk. So she knocked on their doors, and they're not there right now. She kept knocking, and the door swung open. I probably shouldn't go inside, she said. But guess what? She did. She did that too. The first thing what she saw was a cozy living room. It had a fireplace and 3 chairs. 1, 2, 3. Made of wood. There was a great big chair with a tall back and big arms. There was a medium-sized chair, and there was a very small chair with butterflies painted on it. Goldilocks suddenly realized that her feet hurt from walking. This isn't my house, she said, and I probably shouldn't sit in those chairs. But she did. Boy, she does it again, huh? First, she sat in the great big chair. The scratchy wood left splinters in her bottom. Ow, that wasn't comfortable. Oh, this chair is too rough, she said. So she tried the medium chair, and it was so slippery that she slid right off. Boom. Whoops, she said. This chair is way too smooth for me. So finally, she sat in the very small chair. Ah, said Goldilocks, this one is just right. See right here? Uh-oh. There was a mighty crash, and it broke into pieces. Oh, no, said Goldilocks. Look what I've done. I'd better leave. But then, just then, she smelled something really wonderful. She was always curious, so she thought, I wonder, what is that smells so good? So she walked to the door of the kitchen. Do you guys remember what it was in there that was cooling? Yeah, porridge, or kind of like oatmeal. On the table in the kitchen, she saw those 3 bowls of porridge. Oh, that's where that smell was coming from. And suddenly, her tummy growled, and she realized she was hungry. I probably shouldn't taste what's in these bowls, said Goldilocks. Do you think she did? She did. First, she tasted the great big bowl. Ow, she cried. That is too hot. Look at her face. She says, ow. Next, she tried the medium-sized bowl. Ew, this one is too cold. So then she tried that little tiny bowl that had the bees on it, and she said, ooh, this one isn't hot or cold. This one's just right. She started to eat, and she couldn't stop herself. She ate it all, and now it's all gone. Now, as she walked out of the kitchen, she saw a stairway leading up to another floor in the cottage. See the big steps? Yeah, she was always curious. She wondered, what's at the top of those stairs? I probably shouldn't go up them, she thought. You're right. She did. At the top of the stairs, she looked and she saw 1, 2, 3 beds. One was a great big bed, and it was painted blue. The next one was a medium-sized bed. What color is that? Yeah, it's red. And then the very small one was both red and blue. I probably shouldn't try those beds, she said. Yep, you're right, she did. First, she tried the great big bed, and her head went down with a thunk. Ugh, she said, this bed's too hard. I could never sleep on it. Next, she tried the medium-sized bed that was Mama's bed. This time she almost disappeared. It was so comfy she sank down into it. Ugh, this bed's way too soft. I can't sleep like that. Finally, she tried the very small bed that was red and blue. It wasn't too hard and it wasn't too soft. Ah, said Goldilocks, this one's just right. She snuggled under the blankets, and before she knew it, she was fast asleep. A little while later, the family of 3 bears returned from their walk. They stopped in surprise when they saw their front door was open. Oh no, said Mama Bear. Someone's been in our house. Be careful, said Papa Bear. That someone could still be in there. Ooh, they don't know who's in there yet. The 3 bears tiptoed into the living room, and Papa Bear grumbled, Someone's been sitting in my chair. Mama Bear gasped, Ah, someone was sitting in my chair too. And Baby Bear, with a squeaky voice, said, Somebody's been sitting in my chair, and it's all broke. How do you think he was feeling? If your chair broke, how would you feel? Yeah, I bet you he was pretty sad. They ran into the kitchen next. Ah, Papa roared, Someone was eating my porridge. And Mama Bear said, Oh, someone is eating my porridge too. And Baby Bear squeaked, Someone was eating my porridge and it's all gone. Look at his empty bowl. I don't have any more, he said. You think he's feeling even worse now? Yeah, he lost his chair and his cereal. Let's see what happens. Now the 3 bears rushed up the stairs. Papa Bear growled, Someone's been sleeping in my bed. Mama Bear whispered, Someone was sleeping in my bed too. Baby Bear, with a squeaky voice, said, Someone was sleeping in my bed. Oh, and they're still there. They're still there, Dad. Papa, Mama. Look, he comes to get them. They rushed over to Baby Bear's bed. They looked down and they saw, who was she? Goldilocks. They looked at each other. They were probably curious. What is this girl doing in our baby's bed? Papa Bear let out a great big roar. Goldilocks woke up. Look at her eyes are open. Her mouth's like, oh, she's surprised. She was surprised to find them there. First, she saw a very small baby bear with wide eyes. His eyes were wide, big. Next, she saw a medium-sized bear with a worried frown. Mama said. Then she saw that great big bear with great big teeth and great big claws. Goldilocks shrieked. Can you guys say that word, shrieked? That means she yelled. She shrieked. She was like, oh no. Goldilocks jumped up out of that bed, ran across the bedroom, leaped down the stairs, ran through the kitchen, raced across the living room, and burst open the front door. She ran until she saw her own cottage through the trees at the end of the forest. So she ran back through the woods. Her mother and father were standing in their doorway, and Goldilocks ran up to them. Do you think she's feeling safe now that she's home with her mom and dad? Yeah, I always felt safe when I was with my mom and dad, too. We've been so worried, they cried, giving her a great big hug. I'm sorry, said Goldilocks. I should have listened to you. Well, at least you're safe, said her father. Come on into the house, and I'll make you something to eat. The next day, so she's home safe now. The next day, Goldilocks sat on her front steps again, and she could see the forest. Oh, the trees seemed to be smiling and waving to her. I probably shouldn't go into those woods ever again, she told herself. But... And then the author stops there. So we don't know. I wonder, does she go back into the woods? I don't know. She's curious and she wonders what's happening in there again, but I hope she listens to her mom and dad. Sometimes our mom and dads tell us things to keep us safe. And Goldilocks had a hard time listening because she was so curious and wanted to know what was going on, so she didn't really listen. She went into the woods, she went into somebody's home, and she was all by herself. She was lost. So it's really important to listen to moms and dads and grown-ups when they tell us things because they know and they're trying to keep us safe. So, that's the end of my story. But when we have our Zooms, we can talk about that. We can talk about the different sizes of the bears and what happened in the story. Okay, guys. So I hope you guys made it all the way to the end and you were great listeners. Miss Linda appreciates it, and I will see you guys all soon. All right. Bye bye for now.